Today on Breakingviews, fascinating piece on why the new Bank of England Governor Mark Carney reveals that central banks, or thinks that central banks, are all at sea. The man who wrote the piece is Edward Harras. He joins me now. Let me just ask you first, before we get into the detail of nominal GDP targeting and what that means, are you impressed with Mark Carney?
I'm not unimpressed. For a central banker, he seems to be a reasonably sharp guy. He has the great Goldman Sachs pedigree. So, you know, good luck to him. It's a tough job.
Yeah. He's in this limbo, if you like, at the moment. You say a great position to present bold new ideas. You say they desperately need bold new ideas. So what are these ideas?
Well, let me say first why they need them. Of all the professions in the crisis, people pick on the investment bankers and so forth in the financial system, but actually central banking has a particularly pathetic record. Yeah. During the build-up to the crisis, they missed what was going on. They were extremely complacent. During the crisis, they abandoned all their principles of political independence and inflation targeting, did stuff they've never done before. And 4 years on, we're still struggling with monetary conditions in sort of overdrive and a very weak recovery. So central bankers just haven't got it. So they need to do something new.
Okay. And so what? So maybe he's the man to do something new. And what is this grand, bold new idea we're talking about?
This grand new idea is not actually so grand. This is a technical refinement of the existing armory. The idea right now is we target an inflation rate. That's 2% in the UK and the US. And he says, well, instead of targeting the inflation rate, let's change that a little and let's target the nominal GDP. And usually you hear about real GDP, but nominal GDP is the actual amount spent. The goal is very simple, which is that nominal GDP falls way behind the trajectory that one has in mind in a recession, and that means you have room to say we need much higher inflation during the recovery than is currently the case. So that's the goal.
But targeting nominal GDP has inflation implications, right?
Yeah, exactly. It is.
And he didn't mention those.
He didn't mention inflation. It was all a speech about guidance. It was to some chartered financial analysts in Toronto. But it was showed, in my view, intellectual dishonesty not to talk about the underlying issue, which is, yes, higher inflation may be a good thing or a less bad thing in an over-indebted world. Come out and say that, Mark. Yeah. This is your moment.
And let's face it, it's probably not going to take long before this bites him.
Oh, it's already biting him.
Well, it's already biting him.
People in this country are saying, what? But in fact, they're saying this is such a bold and new idea, and I'm saying it's nowhere near bold enough. Come, let's deal with the problem that central banks have lost their independence, their policy is lost. Let's try and find a way to make central banks relevant and to understand what they're doing and to express what they're doing in clear terms.
With that in mind, who's number one at the top of who's at the top of your list?
I don't think there are
any. You on the spot here.
No, I don't think there are any central bankers out there. The people that probably make the most sense are the people at the Bank for International Settlements who have been very skeptical about radical monetary policy that we're using and have made the claim that central banking should be more modest and not try to solve all the world's problems. I think that's actually the right way to go.
Okay, very good. Edward, many thanks for that. Edward Harras. Of course, you can find that piece on the Breakingviews website. For more agenda-setting insight on the television, watch the US Breakingviews show. That's every day, 12:30 Eastern, 17:30 BST. I'm Axel Threlfall. This is Reuters.